You have long fostered the art of motion.
It's Mary Jo Rose Foster.
I'm also aware that you've been through several foster homes.
They have fostered so much misunderstanding, even grief.
Important face facts, Mr. Foster. We're talking about...
Why is your child? I don't know.
Foster, McCabe, your turn.
And you fail to adapt to
All they do is shove me into foster homes.
We're gonna get her out of foster care. I'm gonna marry you.
Foster home, and I was sent to a different one, and life became...
The patrons of the Los Angeles County Museum, you have long fostered the art of motion pictures as a serious and valuable art form.
And a Dr. Pepper, Mr. Leonard.
It's Mary Jo Rose Foster.
You've been Mary Rose.
Theft, resisting, all overturned. I'm also aware that you've been through several foster homes. The state removed you from 3 because of serious physical abuse.
I wonder how my own sorry efforts to overcome those morals may have fostered so much misunderstanding, even grief.
The saving of those 60 million lives is what's important. Face facts, Mr. Foster. We're talking about war. I say every war, including thermonuclear.
all you need to know.
Does he really mean that about being Why is your child? I don't understand.
Congress investigates communists. Congress, you guys are off the case. Foster, McCabe, your turn. Don't lose him.
Display violent aggression. And you fail to adapt to 4 foster homes. Were arrested twice for intoxication, twice for...
The dopers in the state won't even let me go home. All they do is shove me into foster homes.
Let me tell you, that sucks big eggs.
Right? Yeah.
And we're gonna get Lily.
We're gonna get her out of foster care. I'm gonna marry you, and what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You're gonna get clean.
And she was sent to a foster home, and I was sent to a different one, and life became like a nightmare.
Children. Golly, I want kids, lots of kids. I want to adopt, I want to have my own kids, I want to have foster kids. I got this over at Snowman City. Look for them around the house.
I've got a report here from Social Services, Mark, that tells me you've been in and out of foster care since you were 6 years old.
On that couch eating chips and cheesecake again, I'm gonna explode.
There goes Foster across the 40 to the 43.
Want no sweets today?
Murder after the fact. It's too bad. County jail's a lot worse than a juvenile hall or a foster home. It's a lot worse.
Strongly about it, then we'll yank the kids out of the camp and we'll send them back to their foster homes. All 200 of them.
You think this is fun?
Well, I didn't like that at all.
Well, we could give the foster parents guardianship, and then we could try for the most. I'm sorry.
No, don't be. I live with my foster dad, but now he's getting old, so it's more like I'm looking after him.
My grandmother is pregnant with Alan. They're sent back to England and are left with a foster family, and they don't see their parents again until my
Look, I wasn't born into this like you. I was a dyslexic foster kid. No prospects, no future. I mean, it's a minor miracle.
Pasadena, child psychiatrist. Richie was 12. No foster parents. Looks like the doctor retired a couple of years after that. Then we lost track of the...
Being in an abandoned van. If I hadn't been placed with the right foster family, I'd have stayed there.
Well, normally we try to place him in another foster home, but that option's no longer available to us, in my opinion, due to...
If I don't find a relative in the next few days, they're going to put Christine out for fostering. Once she's in the system, she'll never...
And did you call the authorities after he came back, after running away from the foster home where he'd been placed?
No, I did not.
Convicted felon on probation for harboring Castor Troy. One phone call from me and your son will end up in a foster home.
I was just 3 days old. I grew up in foster homes. I was daydreaming about who my parents were.
Could the court reporter please read back the original question?
So I'll ask you again, did you have a violent record while you were in the foster care system?
Mr. Williams, is your answer still no?
Leave the hospital.
I didn't want some social services person to come haul my ass away to a foster home.
I need you to do me a favor and get me something out of my apartment.
We have some great news. Lucy's leaving foster care. She's been adopted.
Oh my God.
Becomes an orphan when you go to prison as an accessory because you got no living parents to take it. So he ends up state-raised in foster homes, juvenile facilities. Then he steals.
They always had kids. They adopted kids. They fostered children all the time. Everywhere I looked, there was kids.
Your foster parents are kind of dicks, huh?
I swear, I have had it with that goddamn...
There you are. He'll be in a foster home. No, they find good families. Yeah.
The court suggests that you agreed to place your son in a foster home until you...
No!
Then this court must...
And Angela had it rough. I mean, moving from foster home to foster home. It was right after our parents died.
Before I left, I got her into foster care. I've never told you just how awful he treated her.
Now, 6.5 years later, I finally got her to the foster family, and you know what? It was great.
Oh, this is my friend Jesus. He fosters dogs.
Special Agent Hamer, FBI.
Jesus.
Name Tulsa happened to be abandoned in Tulsa. It's a nickname. She's lived in 5 foster homes over the last 12 years. Does she know his story? He told her he was confined to a...
Yeah, I think the boy did it. I think the boy was scared that his foster parents would wake up one day and realize that he wasn't worth it. Like all
family is now instigating violence in remote capitals to foster instability and thus fuel massive arms sales around the globe.
Came to the christening. Even a trio of fairies who sought to foster peace and goodwill.
Oh, look, there's the baby. Lovely.
That's what made me want to travel.
Why?
I grew up around here. Group care, foster homes. And they were not great for the most part, but they used to let us go on these trips.
20th century writers. What about Hunter S. Thompson? What about David Foster Wallace, you know? William Gibson. You know, someone contemporary.
How many foster kids you got living with you?
Oh, I'm not a foster parent to Michael. I'm just helping him out.
State don't pay you nothing?
No.
Don't stare at me with those big eyes. Jeez, you look like one of those barefoot kids from Bolivia who needs foster parents.
Have you been seeing someone?
No.
Ward of the State of Maryland's foster care and juvenile detention systems from age 11 to 18.
He decided to become a benevolent king, to foster peace, to protect life, to have you.
By the body.
Stone?
He works as a ticket clerk at Two Foster's tube station. Friend of Bennett's.
Government and military men be included to foster and impart the required principles of leadership and tradition.
Here to have a friendly chat about your father.
I don't have a father.
I don't mean your late foster father, the mechanic. I mean your real father, Dr.
Romeo, to be the very same Capulet cousin stolen from the cradle and fostered to manhood by his Montague mother that was robbed of her own child by the...
They create character. They foster courage, honesty, and leadership. But most of all, an unassailable...
Do you write to her?
I don't know where she is. She's in Texas somewhere. Foster parents.
We want to finish up, man, assistant.
There is no record of the true birth, nor any trail that leads back to you or the Queen. The foster parents never knew the truth, and both now are dead.
Wisdom in the restoring his bereaved sense. There is means. Our foster nurse of nature is repose. Seek for him, lest his ungoverned rage